Hey, hey, South Bay!
Hey, South Bay! I'm Jeff Pollard at Jeff Pollard 11 on Instagram. We have another great episode with another great guest. Who are you? Where are we? What are you about?
My name is Brett, and I'm the co-founder and owner of ETHOS Jiu-Jitsu in South Bay. We're a jiu-jitsu academy located in Lomita, California.
Okay. Now, how did this? I'm going to move in. How did this come to be? How did you come to be? How did you get this giant going?
So I've been training jiu-jitsu. I started in college with a friend of mine, and him and I opened this studio back in 2018. So we started getting into jiu-jitsu basically to help kids and adults learn how to defend themselves, how to be better people, and we're trying to teach people martial arts through jiu-jitsu.
That's cool. And like you said that this has kind of been in your thing for how long, I think?
So we started in 2005. We started training together, got our black belts, and then we started this academy in 2018.
So you started though also in 2005. Like this is, I mean, have you been doing this beforehand? Have you been doing this since you were a kid or just?
No, so I actually didn't start till 2005, and that kind of was I played soccer with you growing up, and then started martial arts in 2005 in college. Kind of got into it and took a love for it, and got real passionate about it, and then learned as much as we could through college, and then full circle we were able to open up an academy together here in Lomita.
See, I only say that because that's important to me. If you're anything like me, sometimes you go, "Am I too old? Am I too whatever?" Just start. Just do it. This guy will help you out, all that jazz. Now, you're in Lomita, shout out. What kind of trials and tribulations have you come across? Like, what were the kind of like the struggles to get started? Like finding teachers, finding a place to go.
So one thing for people that don't know about jiu-jitsu, when jiu-jitsu came from Brazil, one of the first academies in the United States was actually in Torrance. So Torrance is actually kind of the mecca of jiu-jitsu in the United States. So therefore, there's pretty much a jiu-jitsu academy on every corner. So I think our big focus has been kind of setting ourselves apart, and our mission with jiu-jitsu is trying to build character through jiu-jitsu. So we're trying to teach people, life is tough, and we want people to understand that, whether it's kids or adults, learning on the mats, learning techniques and different ways to cope through life also translates on the mats as well to our daily lives. So we're trying to kind of build character and build, good, upstanding citizens in our youth and our adults through learning a really tough martial art like jiu-jitsu.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't want to take it on. Could you briefly tell me the difference? Is it called capoeira?
Capoeira? Capoeira? Yeah, so capoeira is kind of like a little bit like a dance martial art, kind of like that. Very similar.
Brazilian,
a lot of the moves, a lot of them are very similar.
Okay.
A lot of guys that are good in jiu-jitsu are also really good with capoeira as well.
Okay.
Basically, jiu-jitsu is applying joint locks, chokes, stuff like that. So there's no striking in jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
Basically, it's more grappling, similar. We kind of related the most to like wrestling.
Okay.
So learning takedowns, learning how to hold people down, how to get up off of the ground if people are holding you down, and basically learning how to defend yourself accordingly, and meanwhile getting a good workout and staying fit and strong in the process.
Oh man, I mean, from the few times that I've taken courses, you get a great workout. Please do that. Now, if I were new, and I am, but like if I'm speaking for somebody who's completely new, what's the process for me to kind of like get started?
So basically, we offer a free 7-day trial. We offer our classes for kids or with gi only. The adults, we do gi and no gi classes. So no gi would be like a rash guard or something like that. But we have loaner gis for people when they start their trials, so that way they can come try it out and see if they like it, and then they can purchase a gi once they sign up. But yeah, basically we offer a free trial. We have classes in the middle of the day and then in the evenings.
Okay.
So you can come. Basically, we have a waiver to fill out on our website, ETHOS Jiu-Jitsu or ETHOSSouthBay.com, and they can fill out the waiver there and basically come for their first class. We have our contact info, so you're welcome to contact us if you have questions and that. And then we kind of get started. And basically, the way our lessons go is we usually have the same lesson all week long. So then that way, the jiu-jitsu, there's thousands and thousands of techniques. So it takes forever to learn all of them. I'm still learning every day. So basically what we do is we kind of work on a specific lesson all week long, and then we'll kind of work on variations of that and learning all the steps and individual techniques, you know, all week long, and then every week is a new technique. So in that way, if you come, you know, we try to have people come at least 3 times a week or so. So that way you kind of get a lot of repetitions of doing the same technique. So that way you get more and more proficient with it, and then kind of adapt your game from there, build your game.
Now you kind of hinted at it and brought up a good point. If I came in and I had like specific goals or something, would you be able to work with that? Or is it like, you know, I have to come into this class and kind of, you know, do this? So like if I were somebody who wanted to learn a self-defense, or if I wanted to be like core strength, you know, something along the lines, is that possible? Or is it something you just kind of get into with the classes that are more structured? Because I understand structure too.
Yeah, no, so I mean, basically, yeah, all the classes are, you're going to get tons of core strength. We do lots of skill building exercises like that to work on core strength, balance, you know, strength in general, and that, as well as, you know, learning mental discipline, and especially being able to think when you're fatigued. I think that's one of the hardest parts in most martial arts, but especially in jiu-jitsu, is somebody's holding you down and still being able to think and execute moves that you've learned under duress. Sure. And that's kind of where our whole premise with teaching people how to navigate through life is life gets hard. So, you know, if you're able to kind of navigate through that on the mats in jiu-jitsu, it's only going to transform, you know, off the mats as well. Get you not only physically stronger, but mentally stronger as well. So yeah, core strength, balance, flexibility is a huge one for jiu-jitsu. So if you're anybody that knows, if they've been on the mats a little bit, usually your flexibility is going to increase. So yeah, we try to encompass all of that.
Okay. Now I heard that with his team, they put you right into the deep end, right? So first I gotta fight him, and it's black now.
That's right. That's right.
But you have people for all ages, all levels. Yes. You manage to team them up well enough with that.
Correct. Yeah. So we cater to all skill levels. So we have people that are brand new, never put on a gi or been on the mats a day in their life, all the way to people that have been doing it for, you know, 15, 20, 30 years. So basically their first trial, a lot of times we'll, you know, teach the techniques and maybe some like positional sparring and stuff like that. If people don't feel like they're ready to spar, we don't put anybody, like you said, in the deep end. We make sure that everybody, we keep everything safe. Yeah. Safety, honestly, is one of our biggest priorities, making sure that, you know, people are like, if people are getting hurt, they're not going to keep training, right? And they're not going to like the sport. So our goal is safety first, and then with that comes everything else. So the more people train, then they can start, you know, kind of unlocking more of the sport. But yeah, to start with, we start things very controlled. We make sure that your sparring partners, your opponents, are people that know what they're doing, and, you know, safe on the mats and that. We also teach, you know, a lot of skills as far as like how to fall properly, or, you know, how to make sure that you're moving your body in certain techniques to avoid injury as well. I'm learning how to like not fall on your head, or not pull your hands down when you fall, and little things like that, that, you know, the more you train are going to be really, really important.
And what you mean by that is like, you train to do that so that you naturally do that if you're put in a situation where you have to defend yourself, right?
Correct.
Because it's not like, you know, when you're in a street fight, you're able to just remember your moves and how, okay. I'm just trying to understand it stuff.
And that's the idea, is if we put you in those situations enough time here,
yeah,
it's just going to become muscle memory. Just like any sport, you know, with soccer, or with any other sport that you play, you know, the more you execute and drill these techniques, the more it just kind of becomes so ingrained in you that you won't have to think.
Okay. Now, you know, beautiful. I kind of want to end it with a few more questions, but one of them being, are you able, on the top of your head, kind of with you personally, it could be a student or somebody you've, you know, come across, a story where you're like, you know what, I'm glad that this has kind of like built me up for this moment, or something that I'm proud of. It could have been in a fighting tournament you were in, or just something on the streets. Like, was there just like a moment where you're like, this is what jiu-jitsu taught me?
Yeah, you know what's funny is I feel like martial arts, and jiu-jitsu especially, has made me so much calmer in general also. So I think that was something that I wasn't necessarily ready for, or, you know, anticipating. So I think that part kind of threw me off, where, you know, nobody really wants to be in a fight. So I think sometimes people get into martial arts thinking they're going to get into fights, not realizing that usually it does the opposite effect, and it kind of calms most people. And you know, I think it gives you a different humbling feeling too, of realizing that there's people sometimes that are smaller, younger, whatever than you are, that can choke you out, and you're not necessarily as tough as you think you are. So I think sometimes that also is a you know, empowering feeling too, and also knowing that you have techniques that if you're ever in a situation that you're not able to control, that you will be able to control it. You know, so I think that sometimes helps a lot of people, and especially with kids, we know that, you know, bullying's big among kids, and so I mean that's kind of one of our big focuses here as well, making sure that kids feel empowered and, you know, that they can defend themselves, and, you know, keeping them from being bullies, but also being able to feel self-confidence and feel that, you know, if they're ever in a situation, they know how to defend themselves, and more importantly, avoid those situations because they have that confidence that, you know, that they know that they're okay.
Yeah, beautifully put. And I didn't expect a calming manner. That's awesome.
I wasn't expecting that either, I'll be honest.
You know, and I've been humbled before by people, so, you know. But anyway, similar question, last question, brief one. I like to put it out there for the audience so that they can get educated. If you can make the world a better place, a little less stressful, do you have any advice you could give us? It could be anything.
I feel like, without being too cliche, you know, I feel like especially these days, the golden rule, treating people how, you know, you want to be treated, I feel like is so important for one, and, you know, finding something that you're passionate about. I find that whether it's jiu-jitsu, whether it's reading, whether it's sports, what, you know, whatever it may be, I feel like if you're passionate about something, the discipline will come, and you're going to master your craft. So I feel like, you know, not everybody's passionate about the same things, which makes everybody unique and great, but finding that passion and feeling, you know, empowered to want to do something and want to be better at something. You know, it's hard, especially in jiu-jitsu, where you start off and there's a lot of stuff you don't know. You kind of feel like fish out of water for a little bit. So it takes that mental discipline to come back every day and want to get back on the mats and learn and, you know, strengthen your weaknesses and stuff like that, just like any sport. So I feel like sometimes it's easy to kind of throw in the towel and quit when things get hard. So we try to really make sure that, you know, on the mats we're empowering kids and our adults to, you know, keep at it. And it's like, you know, one of the best quotes I ever heard was, a black belt's a white belt that never gave up, which kind of stuck with me from day one. And, you know, a lot of years later, then I just, you know, ate it up and kept at it. So I feel like that's kind of one of the things that...
Yeah, I can totally vouch for that. Please, just, you keep on doing it. It looks like you got a great direction. You know, check them out. Now, all your information is going to pop up, but once again, who are you and what are you about?
So we're ETHOS Jiu-Jitsu South Bay. We're in Lomita, California. Our website is ethossouthbay.com. We have an Instagram page, Facebook page. You can find us on the website and Google.
All pop up. All right. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.